In the sewers of Riften, a den of thieves is hidden. This motley crew is comprised of thieves, mercenaries, courtesans, treasure hunters, specialists, spies, and even madmen. To find a rare item or buy secret information, one must work with the most unsettling of society's outcasts. Don't be fooled by their businesslike endeavors. They are an entire family, making them a strong force to be reckoned with as freedom fighters for the enslaved and the spurned. Their own culture and way of life makes them a treacherous crowd, rejecting society and the laws of mortals just as it has rejected them in taking to the seas on their chipper, the Roebuck, under guise of a trading company. They live in the outskirts of towns and in the ruins of kings, yet somehow, as if by blessing, they thrive.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to whatever I choose to call this week. I'm not sure, I never am. Today I am with Outfoxed, or Leo, who thankfully told me how to say the name right before this interview. So welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on. I haven't really met you all that much. We were in, I think, one TeamSpeak meeting before, so it's a pleasure to have you here, and it's a pleasure to, I guess, meet you properly.
Yeah, I remember meeting you. It was nice to meet you formally, though, finally.
I don't know if this is formal. This is more of the pressure's on you. Welcome to my show.
The pressure's on. I feel the pressure.
Don't feel the pressure. That's why we got drinks. Though, if we get as drunk as Hafard and I did that one night, we're in trouble.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So, you're fairly new to the Children of Skyrim community, right?
Yeah, I've been officially in the Children of Skyrim community since the beginning of January, but I've been playing ESO since launch.
Oh, wow. So you've been a part of ESO for, what, a year and a half before Children of Skyrim?
Right. I did take a hiatus for about 6 months, but I came back because I was seeking RPs.
Okay. How did you find Children of Skyrim?
I don't even remember. I believe somebody whispered me and asked me if I was interested in joining the guild, and so I agreed and then found the website, and then I decided that I would start incorporating my guild there.
All right. So you're just asking for roleplay in the middle of zone chat and get a whisper from somebody?
No, it actually came out of nowhere.
Oh.
I have no idea where it came from, but
I
it's
love
magical.
when that happens. That's actually how I started role-playing in Elder Scrolls Online, actually. I had just made my character, and I was going through a cave, and there was some high-level character just sitting in the cave, and as I walked past, I got this whisper a minute later saying, "You have a role-playing name. Do you role-play?" And I was like, not yet. And then he invited me to a guild.
Yeah, I actually met my former co-leader leveling, and then we got to talking about where the role-playing community was, and at this point I didn't know about Children of Skyrim yet, and we just formed a guild, and then I branched off on my own and then found Children of Skyrim.
Well, that's awesome. So how does Skyrim compare to the other communities? You said you brought your guild up here. There must have been some sort of appeal.
Oh, my guild was actually in Shadowfen, but I did have a guild on World of Warcraft.
Oh, okay.
So I actually didn't bring my guild from World of Warcraft, but I did have quite a large, heavy role-playing guild there.
Did you ever run into Floyd over in Warcraft?
Floyd?
I don't know if he was... Yeah, the human Floyd. He ran the Bane Pod.
Yeah, the name is very familiar. I was actually on Moonguard.
Okay. He actually started up the Banescale Fellowship, which is in Shadowfen. It's like the Elder Scrolls Online take of his World of Warcraft guild.
Oh, that's interesting. No, I've heard of it, but I haven't actually gotten to look into that. That's interesting. No, I was actually in a heavy military guild before ESO, so.
Ah, the military life.
Yeah, don't miss it.
You don't miss it so much that you started up some sort of dark guild to just get away from it.
Oh, it was more my style to go this route, I think. I always seem to have a hard time with authority, so...
Hey, that's what we're here for. Just cause chaos.
All of it.
So, what brought you to Elder Scrolls Online? Did you play Skyrim and just kind of pick this up, or you said you had it from launch? I'm assuming you had some sort of interest in it.
Yeah, like I said, I play MMOs, but I started playing Skyrim and immediately thought I would really love this if this was an MMO. So it was pretty quick on my radar when I found out that it was coming out, and I begged my partner to please let me get this game and let me be a nerd again, and I did, and now I'm here. I'm back sucked into the hole.
Let me be a nerd again. That's glorious.
Yeah, I just I'd been off of the MMO radar for a while. I was kind of busy with school and work, and then I got back into it through ESO after I left WoW, which was very heartbreaking for me.
Well, hopefully it gets better. You know,
Oh, it's absolutely great here. I love ESO. It's so much better.
it's picking up, right?
Yeah, it's so much better. The role-playing community is a lot, it's more advanced, I feel like, than a lot of the role-playing that was going on in World of Warcraft for a long time.
I think the mature rating of the game has a lot to do with that as well.
That's actually why I left WoW, yeah. It was too young for me.
Yeah, I never played WoW until maybe I think 2 years ago, and I just started. I'm like, oh, I got to see what all this is about, really. And I played it, like, this is too much fantasy for me, and there's just like 12-year-old kids telling me to get a life.
Yeah, it was just really cartoony. I'm kind of really big on graphics, so I was excited about ESO coming out in comparison to World of Warcraft.
That's actually, I think, why I kept playing ESO before I started role-playing it. It was just because of the graphics. Honestly, it was sort of fantasy, but it didn't look cartoony.
Yeah, I also love the emotes. They're so much better. I would do anything for just a massive library of like over 400 emotes. I would just roll around in emotes.
I think there's an add-on for that, honestly.
Oh, I mean, no, if they had more emotes than they already do.
Oh. Yeah. Well, they're adding some more. I know that. I think they did add some more with the Thieves Guild patch.
There were like, I think, yeah, there were a few of them. But anyway.
As long as you don't lean back coin all the time, we're all right.
I'm so broody. That's my favorite emote. What are you talking about?
I think that's everybody's favorite emote.
I think my favorite emote is Bow To.
Bow To. Oh, that is a good one. I really like just trying to figure out where the term kowtow came from.
Oh, let's Google it.
Okay, yeah. You Google it?
Google it.
Okay, good. I gotta pour myself a little more coffee then. As we get educated on the term kowtow. Because it doesn't make any sense to me.
Oh, the word kowtow derives from Chinese, formed by combining the verb to knock with the noun head.
What?
Yeah, that's what it says in Merriam-Webster.
To knock head.
It sounds like an Nord thing.
Yeah, but then you do it and you're like praying on the ground.
I don't understand that either.
It would make more sense if there were just Nords going around bashing each other in the head, but...
It's a Skyrim kowtow.
Mm-hmm. That should be an email. We should petition for that.
Petition for... Oh. They already pretty much do that, you know, when you like block and bash.
That's true, yeah. Alright, off of the emote list. We'll get back to that maybe. So your character is Leothrix.
Yeah.
I have seen Leothrix perusing around Riften, I think, twice on my character. And everybody I've ever talked to has said that you play a very good, say, darker character. So, congratulations that you have approval from everybody.
Oh, I'm so grateful. Thank you.
And what was the inspiration for Leothrix?
Oh, I had Leo on World of Warcraft. She was a character I've had for about 5 years, but I changed up her background story for ESO. I think really I like Mononoke Hime, for instance. Like I like the kind of feral aspect of the human form, so I was very interested in creating a character like that. And it just so happened that when I moved over to ESO that they had exactly the race I was looking for. So Bosmer's for the win. And
Bosmers are the best.
I was meant to be a Bosmer, I'm pretty sure.
Bosmer Master Race.
Yep. All you Nords thinking you own the place. I don't know if you're a Nord.
I play Iandel Woodrow, which is a Bosmer.
Oh, you're also a Bosmer.
Yeah. He was on the council actually for a while.
Was he really? Yeah, I just started learning about the council about probably a month and a half ago, a little bit longer, and I actually have a couple of good friends that I think that are very nice on the council.
Yeah, it's a very good structure. I think they did very well with it. So, I mean, I was on it at the start, and then I took a break myself for a good long while. And I came back, and everything seems to be going very smoothly up here, which is awesome. Not that I didn't expect it, but they're a great group of people. So,
yeah, we appreciate the work that they do, especially because the COS community provided a lot of opportunity for me to get out there, especially my guild, to get to know people and sort of be immersed in Skyrim to understand different cultures. It's nice for us to get out and do that.
Going back to your character here, Bosmer, right? Do you play the outsider of the Bosmer, or do you just try to make Leothrix not really meld into Nord society?
Oh, I don't really try anything with her. She just sort of exists in her own mentality. She doesn't really adhere to anything, and I think that's part of the greatness of her character. But she kind of always was an outsider. Her character always was. I mean, she didn't have very much exposure to the world before she came to Morrowind, and then she went to Skyrim after that. And it was kind of a culture shock for her, and it actually destroyed a lot of her original culture when she came to Skyrim.
Okay, so she kind of adapted to it.
Yeah, she adapted over time.
Well, that's good. I did pretty much the polar opposite with Iandel. I had him whenever he first came over. He was in Windhelm, which is pretty much a very big home of xenophobia up there. And every time he walks into that city, he still puts a hood on to hide his ears.
Leo never takes her helm off. In fact, I don't think anybody really knows what her face really looks like.
Uh-oh. Is she really Leo?
Is she? I don't know. There could be copies. No, there can only be one Leo.
But we don't know if that Leo's dead and another one's taken over. See, that we're getting the guild stories now.
We had a storyline. Like, yeah, look at you. You're a stalker, aren't you?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I do no research prior to these. So, your guild's name called the Jackals.
Yeah.
Where did the name come from?
I like animals. Animal stuff. I had to shut up. I like animals. No, I like animal symbolism a lot. So I did some research and decided that a jackal was most similar to the type of people I wanted to attract, and the type of people that my own personal characters are. The characters of my friends were. So we kind of became an outsider group, and then sort of made it up as we went along, and now we are what we are. But right. The name is it's like desolation or unsavory people tend to be referred to as jackals across many cultures.
I can see that. Either that, you could have went with the hyenas, but I don't really think that would fit in very well.
It's funny that you say that, because on World of Warcraft, Leothrix did have a hyena for a pet.
Oh, yeah, the jackal was just released as a pet for the Thieves Guild. Is that now going to be a thing for every jackal member?
It seems that we've been getting them in character as pups and pets a lot lately. But we currently don't really use them in character, but we did think it was pretty fortuitous that it came out at the same time.
Yeah, it's just fate at this point, I think.
Yep, it was meant to be.
Yeah, the devs of ESO are just looking at your guild being like, I like them. Let's put a jackal in the game.
I'm just that hardcore.
Little did we know, you were also a game developer. Look at this.
Well, I actually went to school for IF and DM.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Are you allowed to share any games you've worked on?
I have actually only worked on independent games by myself with coding. I worked a couple group projects, but never pursued that after that and started my own business.
has your business released any games that I would know of?
Oh, we don't release video games. I have a completely unrelated
Oh.
business.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. I decided that I would rather do something I was actually very, very good at.
That's
I'm
fair.
I'm partial to code.
I think I messed around with Java once, and that was to edit some files in Towns. I'd like to say it was that game.
I've recreated Pong.
That's awesome. You should just put that on your website, and I'll sit there and play it all day.
Just play my Pong. It was Python, so I don't know. It would have to be an executable.
Send it to me.
Yes.
That'll be the background for the entire video. Is just me playing your version of Pong.
I'll see if I can find it, actually. That'd be pretty funny if I found it.
Yeah, it would be awesome. Let's see, where are we at here? Community questions. Okay, so this is obviously questions from the community. Wouldn't be called anything else. So this first one comes from both Telger and Cirilla. I don't know if you looked at these or not. Their question was, what challenges do you face from playing a darker character and guild? And how do you work around that?
Oh, I did read those earlier in the week. I thought about that for a minute, and to be honest with you, we really kind of welcome the problems because it adds to the richness of our characters and it creates some realism for what we're doing. The hardest part about that is keeping things a secret, which can be a tricky instance, especially with OOC crossing with IC and people, might not be connecting the two, but some people do. And that can sometimes be a problem, but we handle it always really well, and everything has worked out so far on our end. We rarely get busted, though, so.
Well, that's awesome. Glad to hear that.
Yeah, so we have a lot of vampires and werewolves we got to watch out for, though.
I was actually, I think it was the Lycos interview I had, and we were talking about the stuff with werewolves that he does, and how that you have to welcome the negative forces coming your way if you're going to roll those characters. Or play a guild that way.
I think that's part of what makes it fun, really. I find that when you follow the rules all the time, it doesn't create much room for growth when there's no conflict. And the conflict is part of what makes our guild what it is. Most of our interactions are cross-RP interactions, and coming to terms with some of our vampires getting targeted is a big deal in our guild, a lot. But they are usually good at concealing it for the most part. I mean, we practice that regularly.
That's good. And what would be the point of being a darker themed guild if you do not have conflict?
Exactly. It leaves no room for the actual story.
Yeah, there would be, you would have to make up everything on your own, and you couldn't interact with anybody.
There's no fun with that. We love when people bring us conflict, OOC. We love that.
Exactly. And if they come to you and work everything out of character first, so everybody knows what's going on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, of course. I mean, we rarely have room for
just
surprise.
Don't just like come in like guns blazing for no reason in the middle of.
That's just courtesy, though. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So, what is the theme of the Jackals? What is it that you guys do?
For the most part, we do slave liberation. Some under the counter deals. A lot of the times we'll work security, but we mostly work in intel.
Okay.
And we do trade.
Okay, slave liberation was your first one. Are you working with Sarthos? Don't they have a slave cell coming up shortly? Or is it more of like character by character interactions?
It's more character by character interactions. We have yet to receive a large job like that, but we would always welcome it if it did come to us. We've been looking forward to one, actually.
Yeah, I don't know exactly when that event. It might be past already, but I do know they were going to have a slave auction at some point. I think it might be mid-April.
Yeah. Funny thing about Sarthos, we're already kind of on their radar, so pretty sure if we were to do anything big, we'd get busted pretty fast.
Right. Damn Sarthos.
Yeah.
Good old Jay.
I know.
Can't slip anything past the guy. Now that I've
Well, not
mentioned
when
his
I
name,
not when I whisper him all the time, being like, "Hey, I'm creeping up on your compound here."
yeah. I miss whenever Jay would pop into TeamSpeak and just come in here. We'd both get drunk. He'd drink his whiskey and yell at his dog named Whiskey.
Yeah, my character actually sent him a skin cat in a box, so that's a huge joke now.
It's I sent Naris from Delvani Contracts. Iandel sent him a fake graybeard beard with a note that says, "If you wear the beard, you can use the Thum."
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I did something just like that. So Leo was under the impression that there were some vampire hunters from Sarthos after her vampire. She had good reason. They told her to go to Cragganwallow, basically, or Cragganmore, basically, to just register her vampire, basically. And she was just like, I'm not going to do that. So she skinned a cat and sent it in a box with a note that said to keep their house pets away from wild animals. And then just left it at that.
That was the end of the story.
Yep.
An idle threat.
Yeah.
On a piece of paper just randomly sitting there.
Well, the Jackals, we just don't do war. We take advantage of it and we profit off of it. After all, our motto is coin is king. So when it comes to war, we make quite a bit of money off of that, but we are absolutely in no position to be on the front lines.
No, the intel gatherers don't stay on the front line. Come on now.
Quit it with your sarcasm, with your sassy mouth.
I'm sorry. I'll tone back the sassiness. It's the coffee. It's getting to me.
Getting all bushy-tailed.
Iandel and Havard, actually, and Thorolf. I don't know if you met either of those characters from the Hammer of Atmora. There's a joke going on that whenever Thorolf and Havard go into battle, Iandel will just be on their back as their personal healer.
Oh yeah. We have a desperate need for healers on a regular basis.
That should be a service. Well, I know you should just have a character walk around every place, be like, all right, who needs healing today?
We do actually have one or two of those now. They're necessary, especially because my character can't heal naturally anymore because of a curse. So she's always being targeted. And healers are always in high demand. I have an alt that's a healer, but that doesn't really help me when my character can.
That was always something that bothered me. I'd see like people make brothers or sisters or family members to other characters that they would have to like tell other people stuff that they want that brother to tell their other character, which is just terrible.
Oh no, yeah. My character is actually Leo cannot stand to be in the same room as my alt, which is the excuse that I have.
That's a good excuse.
She is the opposite of Leothrix, yeah.
Oh, so she's a high elf with a predisposition to be happy all the time?
She's a Breton with a predisposition to be happy all the time.
That was so close. It was so close. So you said you gathered intel. How do you go about doing that? Do you set that up with characters, or have you had a guild one before yet?
We get intel jobs pretty much 2 to 3 times a week. We work with some guilds and we work with some independent contractors. Now, usually how this happens is the independent contractor or the said guild authority will come and meet with my character in the refuge using a commonly known password, which is Crowcaller, and they use that in a sentence to get my character's attention either in public or in the refuge to speak about business. Then we talk OOC, and I ask them what they're looking for, and we get all that cleared out of the way, and then they give my character the job in character, and then in turn I go or have my scouts go and contact the target OOC, and depending on the situation, and let them know, hey, this is what's up, and can we possibly set something up for this? It doesn't always have to be that way. If it's a public roleplay, if we hear the information in public, like at a server event and somebody's standing out on the balcony of the withered tree and they say what group they're with, that's free game for us. And we always want to practice OOC consent, so we do whisper them and let them know, hey, my character has seen what you said, and this is what's going to happen. And it always works out well. People are always willing to engage in that, or take said consequences of saying things in public. And it always goes really well and opens up really good roleplay for us. So we love those jobs.
That's kind of the beauty of what roleplay is, really, is you're not the sole writer of the story. So if your character says something that other people don't like, you gotta sort of accept it.
Right, and that's another thing about playing dark characters. There's always consequences for that, and we actually welcome those consequences because, like I said, it brings most of our roleplay.
I think like the last 3 minutes of this interview should be shown to like prospective new guild leaders, because you really just put forth the amount of effort that goes into setting up a single plot line.
Yeah.
You mentioned like out of character talking for probably a good long while, then setting up the first in character meeting, and then going from the in character to more out of character stuff where you're telling, your guild what they're gonna do, and then you have to do that in character. So that I think that should be told to a lot of people that are thinking of starting up a guild, to be like, this is a lot of work.
It is. But the beauty of that also is having a website where you can also put up in-character posts and say, this is a post in the refuge, it's on the wall, and this is what it says, or this is the smuggling writ that came in, and count it in character, so I don't always have to, repeat it in the message of the day or whatever. But the in-character aspect, meeting and actually talking about things, I have to do that with my officers all the time. People will be asking, what are you guys doing? And I said, well, we actually have to meet in character to talk about what's going on, otherwise we can't pursue this. So me and an officer have to take some time away.
Right.
Yeah, and the OOC communication is a really big deal.
And that's where you clearly have to differentiate the OOC versus the IC, because if you're just taking all of the out of character and not building up anything in character, then you lose half of the story.
Well, you also lose relationships too. It's important that my guildies interact with each other without my character around, and get to talking about things, and maybe a character will learn something through somebody else too.
It's very true. I mean, like, what's the point of being in a guild with people if you're only there for whenever the guild leader's there with a big event?
Right, and I love that my guild actually, we reward them for role-playing even when we're not online. So we give them points for ranking up. If we're not online and they want to have a random role-playing session, they can get together and, record names of who was there, give us some form of proof, and then we give them credit for that because we want them to get together and form relationships, because our guild in character is very strongly revolved around family mentality.
That's awesome. I really like that style, actually. The use of the forums, the reward system. I'm thoroughly enjoying that. Good job.
Yeah, thanks. It's things that worked with the guild, and wow, we had 200 members there, and that was quite a handful among only 4 officers. So we started developing systems like that, and then I just borrowed them from my old co-leader and started implementing them here, tweaked them a little bit for the game and the lore, and then it all started working out pretty quickly.
That's awesome. I'm really glad to hear it. The more I actually get to talk to you in this interview, the more I really wish you more success than I already did.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome. You're blowing me away here.
Oh, thank you.
Second community question. Back to these, because I got off track there. This one is from Telger as well, who plays Zatani. What can the community do to create interactions with you and the guild?
Oh, well, we just launched a server event for the community to foster the Skyrim Underground, along with Clan Dukan and Victor Krasnick there, which was an exciting thing for us. Everybody was excited about that because we saw the Black Market Night and decided that we would like to help contribute with that. So we did, and then when I started doing that, I started getting contact from all these other criminal guilds wanting to ally themselves and possibly start doing interactions together. And I think this COS site does a really good job of making sure that people can get in contact that way, especially because everybody has an individual character and they're able to post on that individual character and, kind of let people know what kind of character they're playing, so we can all get together and do that. But we also like the idea of there being a lot of military guilds and other, I guess you would say, like temple guilds doing their guild events in which they need characters like our characters to do the dirty work that they wouldn't necessarily want to do.
Right.
And
yeah,
that right
you
there
send out the
is most
spies
of
to
it.
get their name slandered
Right.
instead of your own.
Right. And we've had a couple of really interesting random opportunities, especially with the Crimson Regiment. He had an assassin recently come after him, and my Jackals busted him in like under 24 hours and brought him to what at the time was an in-character council. Brought him to Lycos, who took him to Arcades before Leo and Arcades were close friends, and got her kind of in good with him, and also sort of did her job protecting an ally at the same time, kind of upholding the law in a weird way. So things can kind of get a little fuzzy, which is exciting. And I think all the varieties of guilds around already coming to us asking for our services is helping a lot.
Yeah, there is quite a large variety now. I remember whenever we first started up Children of Skyrim, there was, I'd like to say 6 guilds, and I think 5 of those 6 were Nord clans.
Right.
So it was not as broad as it is now, because now we have Jackals. We have, you mentioned it earlier. I can't forget it. The one you just worked with.
Oh, Crimson Regiment?
Crimson Regiment, yes. And then the Withered Hand. There's the Thieves Guild. Well, no, they're treasure hunters. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then there's still the Nord clans that are there. There's a Mage Guild. So the diversity is really nice to see.
Yeah, it makes for an interesting world, and I also think it helps with the lore a little bit, having that kind of diversity, because it really is like that, I think, in Skyrim, with all the crazy things happening all the time, especially in Riften.
Yeah, I mean, like this period in history is not as open as it was, say, whenever you're playing Skyrim 2,000 years later. There's still a bit more xenophobia going on, but yeah, I think this is probably whenever you start to see the cultures start to merge a bit more.
Right, and it's interesting because I love seeing that people remain true to that lore when it comes to the xenophobia, because everybody is a little bit. At least Leo has an issue with a lot of men. Like, she doesn't like Nords very, very much, actually. Tends to be surrounded by them all the time anyway. And she spends a lot of time with Argonians, and they catch a lot of slack, too. And we actually enjoy that. It's not a bad thing at all whatsoever. It makes it more realistic for us.
Exactly. You actually feel like you're in the environment.
Yeah, and it feels like it's actually affecting your character, and it makes it more realistic that it would affect their character. I think my favorite term is tree climber. Or wait, no. Yeah. That one. What are your favorite? Do you have any favorite derogatory Bosmary terms?
I don't really, my character doesn't get called derogatory terms all
Really?
that much. I've been a part of the Skyrim community since pretty much the beginning, so a lot of people know my character. I get the joke of like knife ear all the time.
Oh, see, that's one I haven't heard
quite often. So
mine's all about
I think it's
my
more
short.
of like a pet name for him instead of just trying to figure out how to say Iondale.
Yeah, I don't know. I get picked on a lot because of my height and character. But the funny thing is that Leo is actually the same height I am in lore, in real life.
So what? You're 4'5"?
I think the shortest, isn't it, like 5 foot?
I have no idea. I don't remember. It's
Yeah,
been so
I'm
long since I've...
I'm like 5 foot or 5'1".
All right, so you can still drive a car.
Oh,
Oh, right. I was supposed to turn down the sassiness.
your finger slipped on the dial there.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll crank it back down to 8. Well, we're kind of near the end of my questions, so is there anything you want to plug in at the last second here?
Um, no, not really. I mean, I think you pretty much got it covered.
Well, I didn't cover anything. You answered all the questions.
Oh, well, thank you. But I didn't do all the work on this at all.
You just showed up.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on. It was a real pleasure talking to you.
It was a pleasure talking to you, too. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, anytime. Well, not anytime, but you get the point.
Yeah.
If you
You're
ever
just such a
have
cool guy.
I try. You know, I did get my, what's it called? I'm ordained to be a minister in the Church of the Latter-day Dude. So.
Oh, I'll make sure to tell all my friends.
Yeah, if you know anybody who wants to get married by the dude, just let them know.
Okay.
Yeah, you can. It's Havard and I actually. In the interview I did with Havard, he actually ran me through how to do it. So.
What were you? I didn't even get that far into that one.
No, oh, you should get to the end because
Okay.
we got pretty drunk at the end there.
Yeah, I got about to the middle.
All right. Well, it was nice talking to you, Outfoxed / Leo.
It was nice talking to you too. Thanks for having me.
Master Race.
Bosmer Master Race, Captain Bosmer Master Race.
That's right. All right. You
All
enjoy
right.
your night.
Thanks. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. So what do I just call you Leothrix, or is there like Outfox T that I can't pronounce properly? Because
It's actually Outfoxed, but my name is
Outfoxed.
Fox, but you can call me Leo.
Leo. Okay. Cool. Why did I not figure Outfoxed? I'm an idiot.
Everybody says that too. They're like, why didn't I think of it?